Hi buds! Did you know nearly 50% of millennials overspend to keep up with their friends? Yeah, going on vacation, buying lavish clothing, going out to fancy restaurants. From celebrities we see who go on lavish trips and have diamond earrings and walk red carpets in their lavish gowns, to Instagram influencers who are posting about their private jets. It seems like every time you go on your phone, you're bombarded with images and videos of these very extravagant lifestyles. Everyone's going on vacation this summer. Everyone's going on the yacht. Everyone's buying the Louis Vuitton bag. And that can make a lot of people feel less than or inadequate when we're just sitting on our bed in our home, not on a vacation, looking at everyone else splurging thousands of dollars on these things. And while some influencers or YouTubers or, your friends on social media can actually afford those things, we're seeing a lot of people fake it just to keep up this illusion. I feel like I have to start this video by quoting Gary Vee. He says that one of the biggest problems in the world is that we buy things with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. Have you guys seen those rooms that you can book that you walk into the room and it's actually like a little set, and it's a place where people can go to take pictures to make it look like they are flying private. People are getting caught taking pictures of themselves holding Louis Vuitton bags and then putting it back on the rack but acting like it's theirs. We are doing a lot, guys. We're doing a lot to make it seem like we are living it up, when really we are broke. Even on YouTube, I'm in the self-development space, and when I see my For You page with other self-development YouTubers, there's this huge popularity of aesthetic self-development where it's like you have the perfect morning routine with the New York City skyline, and you have the perfect apartment, and you go to your hot Pilates class. We see vloggers going out to cute restaurants. We see this aesthetic, manicured, often rich lifestyle. And I think in a lot of ways that can be really aspirational, right? But in a lot of ways that can make people feel left behind and discourage people because they look at that and they feel like, wow, my life doesn't look like that. And be honest, comment down below if you have ever felt this way, or more so, faked being rich in some kind of way. Posted a picture of some fancy bag or shoes or something that you didn't actually own. So in this video, I want to break down why people do that, share my personal journey with this topic. I'm going to talk about the cons, the detriment of doing something like this, but also what could be a potential pro to doing something like this. And I know you're not expecting me to say that, but stay tuned for that. And then I'll leave you with some questions to reflect on. So first I want to get into, why are we in this aesthetic, rich, performative culture to begin with? Why do people feel like they need to fake being rich? Unfortunately, whether we like it or not, society tend to admire, value, and respect more people who they feel have a higher financial status. And as much as that sucks to say, I just feel like that's the ugly truth in our society. And so it then becomes like, that's the game we're playing. And you cannot like the game, but you're part of the game whether you like it or not. It's a social advantage to be rich, right? Because you have better access to networking. You probably get treated better. You probably get doors opened for you. People are nicer to you. So in that sense, I have a lot of empathy for people who go far to make it look like they are lavish. And also I think it's human nature that we want to fit in, right? Like if all of our friends are dropping thousands of dollars to go to St. Lucia for a birthday party, you want to be on the trip, right? Or if you and your friends go to the mall together and they want to go to Gucci, meanwhile you're on a Target budget, it's understandable why you would feel pressure to walk into Gucci with them and buy something that's out of your budget, so that you can just fit in. People want to be socially acceptable. We're very community like animals, us humans. Personally, I remember when I was in middle school, that was probably the most I've ever wanted to fit in, and I would go to means to do that. One of them being Aeropostale and Hollister. I know I can't be the only one. Hollister was the brand. You walk in, I can still remember walking in into darkness and this strong scent hitting me. And like not even liking their clothes specifically. I don't think there was anything like super special about the fabric of the clothes. I just know that everyone was wearing it. The cool kids were wearing it in my school and I wanted it. And it was definitely more expensive than like Goodwill thrifting or Walmart and Target clothes that I was typically buying. But I remember like asking my parents to take me to Aeropostale and Hollister so that I could wear the brand. Gross. I think that's a silly example. But even as adults, we have FOMO of missing out on cool opportunities that cost a lot of money. We have the fear of being judged. We still don't like being the different one, especially when it comes to money. Like it's so hard saying no to go on a friend's group trip somewhere if it's out of our budget. And then it's even more hard being honest with our friends that we can't go because of money. Another example is I live in a city where there are a lot of sky rise luxurious apartments with like heated floors and top-notch security and like the nicest quartz countertops and just like the bells and whistles, right? And a lot of my friends live in those apartments. Meanwhile, I live in a 375 square foot studio. It's not impressive. And while I'm like I don't really care. I feel like the ride or dies in life, like the authentic relationships you have, it really does, it comes down to who you are. I know that sounds so cheesy, but like think about if you lost your job tomorrow, if you were dead broke, if you didn't have a nice apartment, if you were staying in like a roach infested apartment, if you didn't have a car, if you were taking the bus everywhere, if you like just didn't have any sort of like glamorous life, if you didn't have any social clout in that kind of way, like who would still be around? Who would still treat you with the same exact respect, and like you would know that they looked at you the same way? It literally does not matter if you have $1 billion in the bank account or $50. Like they still want to hang out with you. I don't think there's a ton of people like that, but in a sense it's also really understandable why someone would like lease a car that they can't afford. Like I know people who lease cars, luxurious cars, so that they can drive around and pick up girls and like look cool, but they can't actually afford the car. So I want to talk about the pros and cons. So the pros would be you do get doors open for you. You will probably get treated better. You probably might get better dates if you show up in a fancy car instead of a jacked up, half the door missing, roll up the window type of car. Do they even make those anymore? I don't know. But there are genuine benefits to that, but I don't think you'll ever really win when you do things like that, because there's always going to be someone with more. Like it's like the same thing with looks. Like you can try really hard to look attractive, but if you're leading with that, there's always going to be someone who's more attractive. If you attract someone who is with you just for your looks, they will probably leave the second that they find someone prettier. And the goalpost of fancy these days keeps moving. Like it as there's something else is hot and in commodity and like luxurious like every other month. Like I don't know, sometimes it's like Lululemon and the next month like Gucci will be all that when they release a new belt or something. Then it was like the Stanley Cup a few months ago, right? There's always going to be this new hot thing. It's really hard to keep up. Also, I feel like when you invest so much mental effort, money, energy into looking this part, you don't even know who you are anymore. Also, because the trends keep changing, that investment that you made of like $1,000 into some new hot sunglasses or bag, that's gonna go out of style, and then that $1,000 is gonna go down the drain with it. Instead, you can actually invest in one, the products that you actually like, or two, things that could actually make you money, like a real investment. Like me investing into a camera that costs $1,000. I could have spent $1,000 on fancy jewelry that would make me look good, or I could spend $1,000 in a camera that I use to film YouTube videos, which is like a long-term business plan that could probably generate me more money than earrings would. you know? And to go back to that Gary Vee quote, we buy things with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. Sometimes we go into debt to keep up with friends, right? But other times we're just going into debt to flex to like strangers online or like our bosses. Like, we don't actually care about these people, but we care deeply about what these people think about us. Make it make sense. If you're living a life that is controlled by others' judgments or opinions, you don't even like these people, and like you're moving based on how you're how you think you're being perceived, you're not free. Like, you're not living your own life. Your life's not your own. Your life is being dictated by Sally or Kim or who random people and what they might think of you. Because I used the example of me in middle school buying Hollister stuff, let's take it back there for a second. So like if one day Hollister is in and then the next day Macy's is in and then the next day, buying Levi jeans is in, and you're just like being tugged and pulled in all of these different directions, not even buying what you really like, but buying what is like the fancy thing to buy that month. Your life's not your own. Like, your wallet is not your own. You are spending just based on wherever the wind blows you. And along that same thought, I think that's why a lot of rich people aren't happy. That's why we think that, oh, being rich will solve all problems. And then we see millionaires off themselves because having $1 million is not going to buy you authenticity. It's not going to buy you peace. Flying private jet planes is not going to buy you authentic friends. And we are such emotional creatures. We can sense when something's not authentic. A lot of rich people and a lot of people who are pretending to be rich, they're lacking this element of authenticity because they feel like they have to keep up with the lifestyle that they've created, that everyone expects them to have at this point. They've created a lifestyle that people watch them for, that they need to maintain so that they can maintain their following. But on the topic of authenticity, we have a big problem with it as a society. Like, even beyond trying to look rich and going into debt to do it, we are faking a lot of other things. We're faking happiness. We're faking our faces online with these crazy filters. How we present ourselves to the world is now more important than what's actually going on. Like, it doesn't matter if you're having a bad time on vacation, you're gonna post yourself smiling on a jet ski because people are gonna think you had a good time, and that's what matters these days, unfortunately. But to switch gears to a little bit of a more positive note, there are a handful of creators who are being so genuine and authentic online. I think of Spencer, I don't know her last name, it starts with a B, but I'll post her here, who like shows off her real body with no filters, no good angles. Like, she's just like, this is me, and follow me if you want, and don't if you don't. And I admire that so much because we are terrified of being ourselves in this world. We are terrified of posting our bodies with, belly fat or tummy rolls or stretch marks. But the good thing is there's more and more people posting authentically, and that's giving other people the courage to post more of themselves. Like, in the beginning of TikTok, we saw a lot of people posting cooking content, and in the beginning it was only people who had these really aesthetic kitchens, like marble countertops and like the fancy chef knives and the really high quality cameras shooting their video. And now we're seeing people prop up their iPhone on a bag of rice and using like their old stained pots and their like not most aesthetically pleasing kitchen. And they're like, you know what? I can still make a banger meal though. Watch me. And people are craving that authenticity. It's like such a breath of fresh air, isn't it? Isn't it a breath of fresh air when you're scrolling on social media and it's like influencer, yacht, private jet, perfect body, a filtered face, and then you just scroll and you see someone with a natural body. Gosh, we need more of that. To really hammer my point home here, because I can't just be preaching this stuff and not actually doing it. Remember how I said I live in like a 375 square foot studio? It's one room, literally. It's not even like cute right now. This is literally what we're dealing with. So yeah, we got that going on. Okay, we have this gosh, it's like this is just in the middle of the room. My shoes are on the floor. My view, I can't show it to you guys right now because the camera's going to be overexposed that way, but my view, not the New York City skyline, it's literally a cemetery. But you know what? Is that stopping me from posting YouTube videos? No. Is that stopping me from being myself? No. I'm still creating a community, and I don't have the cutest apartment, face, view, clothes. I'm literally in like a SpongeBob t-shirt that's very like jaggedy, by the way. And I need to make a disclaimer here before people think I'm like hating on rich people. I'm not. I'm trying to get like you. My problem lies with people who are faking it to their detriment. Like people who are going into debt to buy a bag that they can't afford so that they can post it on social media so that these strangers online will think they're cool, which is scary common these days. Comment down below if you or someone you know have bought something to impress people, have bought something you can't afford to fit in. I want to hear the juice. I want to hear the stories. Be for real and tell me the real story down in the comments. And also, my dearest buds, if you made it to the end of this video, please subscribe and like or comment, because engaging with the video really does help YouTube push this video out to other people. So if you think more people need this message, please, I would give you, I'm giving like a virtual hug in my mind if you would do that for me. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, buds.